Welcome back to Olympus on Air, where tales of hubris, hunger, and high drama are always on the menu. I'm Hermes, your messenger and mischief maker, serving up another myth you'll never forget. Today's special, the tragic tale of Tantalus, king, confidant of the gods, and, well, someone who bit off far more than he could chew. Joining me in the celestial debate are Prometheus, the original rebel and relentless defender of mankind, and Zeus himself. Gentlemen, welcome. Try not to turn this into a feast or a fiasco.
A tale that should caution all mortals. Tantalus trespassed sacred bounds, and the price was steep.
Or perhaps, as with so many tales, it's a story of mortals driven to extremes by the hunger for understanding, that eternal famine of the human soul.
But before we lay the charges, let's set the table. Tantalus wasn't just any mortal, son of Zeus himself, king of Lydia, and for a time, welcomed into Olympian feasts. He dined with gods, shared their secrets, even claimed their friendship. Zeus, what made Tantalus so favored?
He was a king of keen mind and silver tongue. A son I once admired, granted privileges no mortal deserved. Yet privilege is temptation. He took generosity for weakness.
A mortal's hunger for belonging, your god's table, Zeus, was never meant for those born to die.
And then, the fall. Let's talk about exactly what Tantalus did. He stole nectar and ambrosia, the food of the gods, and shared it with mortals. He revealed divine secrets. Worst of all, he sought to test the wisdom of the gods with an unthinkable act. Zeus, care to spell it out?
He butchered his own son, Pelops, served him as a meal at our table, mocking our perception and justice. A display of arrogance and disrespect beyond forgiveness. Only Demeter, distracted by the loss of her daughter Persephone, tasted of the flesh. When the deception was revealed, horror shook even the gods.
Yet is it not your own caprice that drives mortals to these extremes? Divine secrets hoarded, revels denied. Tantalus played a desperate hand in a game with no mortal victors.
You mentioned Demeter. In the depths of grief for Persephone, whom Hades had kidnapped into the underworld, Demeter's judgment slipped, and she tasted the flesh of mortals. Even gods can err when their hearts are wounded. But the rest of you refused. Pelops was restored, but Tantalus had sealed his doom.
Restoration can repair flesh, not honor. For these crimes, deception, betrayal, and the most unspeakable sacrilege, Tantalus was condemned to Tartarus.
And Tartarus delivered. Imagine Tantalus, forever parched and starving, standing in a pool of water beneath fruit-heavy branches. Each time he bent to drink, the water receded. Each time he reached for fruit, the boughs drew just out of grasp. Hunger without end. Thirst that deepens with every craving.
A punishment fit for the god's sense of irony, to always be denied what you most desire. Yet what mortal, given your appetite, Zeus, would not have snapped the boughs and drunk the river dry?
It is not hunger that condemns, but betrayal. Tantalus knew the line. He crossed it willingly. Let all who hear remember, to defy the gods is to invite endless need.
Sometimes the god's greatest punishment is a craving the soul cannot satisfy. Tantalus gave his name to tantalize, to lure forever out of reach. His story lives in every yearning and thirst that goes unanswered.
Or perhaps in every mortal striving for knowledge, for connection, for more. Fear the boundary, yes, but never stop hungering for what lies beyond. That's what makes humanity matter.
From divine banquets to eternal thirst, Tantalus became the lesson and the warning, a king who lost all for wanting too much. Thank you for listening to Olympus on Air. Remember, when someone warns you not to bite off more than you can chew, they might just be speaking from experience. Until next time, mortals, don't let your cravings run away with you.